Happy Sunday morning, everyone. This is Jason. It's church time, enough to do church things. And what if I told you that the pictures of Jesus Christ that you were raised seeing and having posted in your church are categorically false? That's right. Those are not the pictures of the real Jesus. And here's why. Because, as you well know, Jesus was born and raised in a town called Bethlehem. Bethlehem is in what is today's West Bank, Jewish-occupied Jordanian territory. A distinctly Palestinian land. And of course, all roads, the road from there led to Jerusalem, the modern-day capital of Israel, and the holy city for three different religious faiths. And the main core of Jerusalem is Israeli, and the area that is called East Jerusalem is in the West Bank. And so it is highly, highly likely, given these geographical realities and biblical explanations of these locations, that Jesus was actually Palestinian. A Palestinian Jew, mind you, but a Palestinian nonetheless. So he likely looked more like your typical Palestinian these days. And so the white Aryan Christian church Jesus that you see portrayed is almost certainly not true. I don't know what the odds of a white-looking European man living in the Middle East at the turn of the first century would be, but I would say it's very, 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 very close to zero. Now, why did he wind up being portrayed as a white Aryan or European man with the long hair and beard? Well, you gotta go back to a little bit of the history of how the Christian church was founded. The original church, of course, was founded in that part of the world. However, it went on to become the Roman Catholic Church, which, of course, until very, very recently was largely ran by Italians. And the Protestant movement after that was spearheaded by Martin Luther, and Martin Luther, of course, was a German. So there was a vested interest in this part of the world to present Jesus Christ as a man who looked like them. I mean, imagine today if Jesus was portrayed as a Palestinian in the United States, in this particular environment. That church would be dead in the water. It wasn't as extreme back in the 15 and 1600s, but nonetheless there's still an underlying current of it. So Jesus needed to be portrayed as a man who looked like the very people that they were trying to convert. And thus you get the white European Jesus that you see in churches today. I initially as a very young child started in a Lutheran church in North Dakota, and my grandparents were Lutherans themselves, and so this is the picture of Jesus I was initially, as a 3-year-old child, trained to recognize. And as such, this is the Jesus who I grew up seeing as Jesus. This is the Jesus that the white conservative movements of today see as Jesus as well, because he looks like most of them. And so this picture of Jesus Christ persists to this day for this very reason, because he looks like the very people who move forward. Now, I belong to a large evangelical church in Minnesota to this day, They do not have this picture of Jesus anywhere. Not on their website, not in their buildings, not in their materials, nowhere. And I think it's a good move, because this church in particular tries its best to not be the weird church, or take the weirdness out of church, or they take the politics out of church extremely well. As the senior pastor says, Jesus Christ is for both Republicans and Democrats. And so for us to not have this particular picture of Jesus anywhere is not only solid, I think it's also accurate. The only symbol of Jesus to be found anywhere in the building is a symbol of an actual cross, which I believe was left behind by the previous occupants of our building, which it was an actual Baptist church. So we have that particular symbol of the Son of God, but no pictures of this of the white Jesus exist. And again, accurate and very good, because Jesus wanted to be a Jesus for all people. And so this idea of a white Aryan Jesus, I think he would be frowning upon from above these days. So anyway, that is your little factoid of the day. Happy Sunday morning, everyone. And yes, Jesus was not the white Aryan Jesus that you see pictured or grew up knowing, in my case. Anyhow, that's it for Sunday morning. I may have another episode later on. I have a whole lot of things I have in my mind. There's a whole plate of them as I continue to create these, as well as to write the book and stop simping and start winning. This channel will convert back to that motif once that book is completed and published. And no, I will not be using a vanity publisher to do that, because I know that those people are frauds. But anyhow, that's it for now. We'll see you all later today or tomorrow. Peace out, homies.